and you can't see it on screen right now, but I am repeatedly poking a pin into a banana, and it's so
Do you
satisfying.
know bananas are really satisfying to write on?
What?
Really?
Yeah, really nice to write. The skin is really satisfying to write on.
I'm trying something. Hang on. This can go in the video.
I love that. This is
Slightly
what quarantines come to, writing on banana skin.
Oh, I've written it wrong. I've got to rub it off.
It won't rub off.
I've managed to get it off.
Bananas for life, not just for Christmas.
That is what they always say. There it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
How
life.
you went
Yeah,
wrong
that's how you're going to tell
on the
people.
banana.
What?
You went
What?
wrong. How
Yeah,
did
I
you
went
go
wrong on the banana and I had to rub it out. I wrote the date the American way. I put the month first.
How do you make that mistake? That's not really a
I don't
mistake.
know.
How does that even happen?
I think I'm an American at heart, definitely.
You're so British, you've had jam and cheese
I
sandwiches.
have. How do you know that?
What?
Because I remember you used to have them at lunch at school, and I thought, what kid eats this?
I did. I used to have them all the time at St John's, and everyone.
Yeah.
It was like a love or hate. Some people would be like, "Yeah, that is sweet," and some people were like, "No, that is disgusting." I think Alice used to give me a lot of stick for that.
I think I probably did on the inside, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings, so.
Yeah, if you had, we probably wouldn't be in this position now.
Yeah, imagine if you decided when we were 4 that I was not your friend.
Can you see Gary all right? Is he in the
I
background?
can see Gary. I'm very happy that I can see Gary. He should be here.
Do you know that Gary Barlow, through the entirety of lockdown, has been doing a virtual duet online with other pop stars every single night?
Yes, I saw him do that with Jack Whitehall. I thought that was so random, but it actually
my
turned out really good. They did Annie's song.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So he's done 44 of them. Today was their last one because he's done 7 weeks straight of them. And he did it with Chris Martin, who is like my other favourite pop star of all time.
You should almost have a cutout of Chris Martin as well.
I should have Chris and Gary up there with their arms around each other. I love
Elliot, I think if you had all of the male pop stars that you've ever looked up to behind you, you would have a complete background.
I'd have a choir.
You would, completely.
You know, my new huge obsession, I just watched Bohemian Rhapsody the other day.
Isn't it incredible? It's so good.
Freddie Mercury, legend. He's amazing. He's my new icon as a pop star, as a rock star, as a performer, a songwriter, a pianist, a singer, everything. Like, he's so good.
He's a total icon.
He is. He's amazing. So, rest in peace, Freddie Mercury.
Indeed.
On that note, should we? I mean, we can just meander through these points like we are doing now.
Just meander.
Yeah.
Just meander through the points.
Do we meander or do we tumble?
One of them.
Are we that elegant? What we do.
One of them's like that, and the other one's like that. Oh.
What did you throw?
I got banana on the ceiling.
Elliot!
It's right. This is the promo.
I'll turn to see, but not. You're gonna have turn to see printed like the other way round on your ceiling. That's one way to remember.
John, should we do our intro?
Can do.
What do we want to say? I'm John. I'm not John.
You're not John. Sorry.
The 30-minute thorough introduction was not thorough enough, Elliot. What are you playing at? Watch it again. Just remind yourself of which.
We'll say a little weird. I'll say a little. We're joined by her. This Mong Bean.
We're joined by this one.
I've never been cut out to be a YouTuber. I hate this.
It's
so
weird, isn't it?
You do drama and all sorts. So like acting in front of people is so easy, and then you get on a camera and you just become an idiot somehow.
It's hard. I mean, sitting here and going, "Hi," it's horrible. But
it does feel pretty artificial. You've got to put the life in it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you get a microphone, then it feels more professional. And it's a lot easier.
The only scripted bit, the only awkward scripted bit we've got to do is this intro. We've just got to say our names in our still more fashion.
Not that awkward. I mean, it's fairly awkward.
Count me in.
You want to just do it rather than calling it awkward?
Right. Hey, I'm Elliot. And this is John. Oh, come on!
You built up too much suspense.
I know, but we've got to say it.
Oh my
Right, go silent and leave me 3 seconds and I'll
Give
say
me a
it.
second.
Right. All you've got to say is I'm John and he's Elliot.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Elliot and he's John. What?
You can't do it! You can't do it!
Oh man, you're gonna have so many outtakes here. Hey, I'm Elliot and he's John.
Hi, I'm John and he's Elliot.
And we are joined by
Daisy Ray.
Hey, I didn't know if you were going to say your own name there. Well, we now have an introduction that you can cut and put on the video, John. So we don't have to do that.
Fantastic. Glad to be here, folks.
So we are going to talk through our song Turn to Sea, which is out on Friday the 15th of May.
That's in a week from
That's in a week from now.
I'm just so excited.
It is well exciting, isn't it? I can't believe it's 7 days. Wait, if it's a week today, is that 7 or 8 days or 6?
Depends when it comes out. What time?
It's coming out at midday, midnight.
Okay, well then, yes.
It's 7 days away.
It's 7 days.
7 and a bit.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It is 7. It is 7. So that makes me look like I don't know how many days are in a week. I do.
Yeah, we can definitely include that, I think.
No, I don't think we can. So the first point we want to talk about, and the part where we speak out this point can be cut from the video because we can just put it as the caption on the video.
Yeah, we'll do a little title thing.
So we can read out the point in a stupid voice. So
You're gonna love this.
I can't do any accents. I'm not gonna. Well, I can actually. I'm really good at accents, but I'm not going to do any.
Why?
Okay, then we will. Okay, let me just get it right. I just got a hone in on it. Okay.
Oh my gosh,
couple
guys!
phrases?
Imagine if we were a Scottish band, wouldn't that be
No,
just
it's
like
not.
10 times cooler?
It's not coming to me.
Do you need a couple phrases? Like,
Yeah.
Get in my belly.
Get in my belly. Get in my belly.
Please use this as just the opener to the video.
First point we're looking at is when and where was this track written?
Take it away, boys.
When is an interesting one though.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like we sort of came back round to it. We sort of like wrote a bunch of songs and then came back round to this one.
Yeah, we begun writing songs it was after we finished our exams last summer, our A-levels, and we had this enormous amount of time and we decided to start writing songs. And I do specifically remember this was the 3rd song we wrote. And it just got put on the back burner for a while, I think. Because there were a couple of others that we favoured more. This one didn't include piano, did it? And I'm a pianist. For me, it didn't have much going for it at first, so we left it out. We wrote all of our songs last summer in the church building at Holy Trinity, our church.
The main hall.
Yeah, we just we pulled chairs up at the communion table, didn't we?
Yeah.
Proper Anglican style, you know?
Yeah.
I just think that's such an amazing way to be writing your first worship songs, like in the church that we grew up in, where we've spent countless Sundays, had like countless parties and so many memories there, and that's where you guys wrote the songs. It's amazing. It
definitely felt special. Yeah. Sorry, I've just had a time warning. We've only got 10 minutes.
It was one of the first ones you wrote, which is always going to make it more special. But it was the fact that like we wrote it and we didn't really think that much of it, really. It was one of the first songs we like got the whole song for, but we didn't really think like, oh, like this is going to be like our single that's going to come out.
Yeah, that was it. I think we were thinking about writing songs that all fit together, kind of almost looking to do an EP or an album straight away. But then this was the one outlier really that didn't fit in with the same theme of the others, which I guess is why it felt right as a single. So yeah. I suppose that's enough for that point.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one in the 9 minutes remaining that we have. So now we're talking about how did we go from silent room / blank page to writing a song with a full set of lyrics? Well, let me just recap on my notes. Yeah, so John and I, we tried writing music before this. Do you remember, like every few months, I might come over to your house, and you'd pull up your guitar and you pull out a keyboard, and we'd just kind of sit there. I remember one time we did it at the bottom of your garden. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was, and we always because we always had this shared interest in music, and we always wanted to try and write music together, and it never worked. It was always kind of stilted and awkward. We never got anywhere, and I reckon the reason for that was always because we never really had any idea what we wanted to write about. We were kind of trying to just write about anything. And I think that's why I think with this, I think that's where we went from having absolutely nothing to suddenly having all these concepts and these ideas songs, was because we suddenly decided, let's write about something that's really important to us. Let's write about our faith, our belief in God.
And it might have been partly because we started out we didn't really have the intention of it being Christian stuff. And then we were moved on to like writing cover albums and stuff, which still never got finished. But
that's
we
true.
moved on to bigger, better things very quickly. So it was that sort of changed us. Like, actually, we should write like more Christian stuff, because that's much easier to, like, it's from our heart, like it's something we really believe in.
And it's true, the moment we decided to do that, the songs kind of came from nowhere. They just started flowing, and it's not they weren't necessarily great, but just tune after tune we started coming up with ideas and lyrics and melodies and stuff, and we'd never really written more than probably 2 or 3 songs, and they were only ever novelty songs before that point. So yeah, that was a real blessing last summer. How do we all know each other, and how has the length of our relationships affected the way we've worked on the song together? Daisy, you can talk about this one if you want.
We've known each other for a very long time.
Too
probably too long. I'm joking. Elliot, me and you've known each other since we were 4 in primary school. I still remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a long time. So that is now 15 years.
Crikey, I only feel like
16 years.
It's about that. I mean, we don't claim.
I remember you when you had no siblings.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
I remember Archie as a baby.
Yeah. Wow. I remember you coming, because you used to live really nearby, and I remember hanging out quite a lot, coming around to your house. I remember I've got this one memory of hanging around at your house and dropping a toy or something down the side of your bed, and putting my hand down the side of your bed to get it. And when I pulled my hand out, my hand was wet, right? And it had a horrible smell. And what it was that you had knocked a glass of milk from the previous night down the side of your bed. That's
so embarrassing. I can't believe I did
that. So that's an early memory of you that I have. And this is...
I don't even remember that happening. That's awful.
Oh, it was so disgusting.
Okay, I remember being in your garden, and Archie decided to eat a ladybird.
Yes. Were you there when that happened?
I was there, and he had it in his mouth, and I was like, what's he eating? Your mum was getting him to like spit it out, and he spat it out, and it was just this crushed up ladybird that he decided
I have no idea you were there, because that has become a story, a family story that we bring up every now and then. We refer to that. It's one of the most stupid things my brother's ever done.
Yeah, I remember that very distinctly.
Wow. But then, John, we've been best mates for, what did we say it was? 8 years or so?
7 or 8 years, yeah.
7 or 8 years. And I think the key player, the key reason why we're all such good friends and we've kept in touch for so long is because of church. It's because
absolutely 100%. It's just a complete family to me. I think you guys, the rest of us that we've you know, we've all been together for years now. It's such a family.
Yeah, we've had some great youth leaders and some great youth groups that have kept us all engaged in our faiths and all of this, and I think that's been a real blessing for us. It's amazing.
We were so lucky. We had amazing like youth leaders. We had amazing youth groups growing up in church. I'm now, you know, at a church in London where 2 of our youth leaders are there. Yeah. It's just so cool to still be going on that journey with each other and with people that brought us up through the church. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. On to the next. What motivated us to write this song?
This one was actually one of the odd ones out because we were writing a lot from the book of Ephesians.
Yeah.
And this was one of the ones that we just sort of wrote, just like
that's true,
off on a whim.
Yeah.
Like
that's true because when we decided, like we said earlier, when we decided to focus all of our music on our faith and start writing Christian songs that expressed our kind of love for God, we to immediately get some focus, we decided to kind of read through and study a book from the Bible and then write a kind of a handful of songs based on it. And we started with Ephesians, like you said.
Yeah.
And this was the first song, the only one in there that wasn't based on Ephesians, was it? It just came straight from our own words, I guess, from our own heart, I guess. It was, yeah. So I think there's a real purity to it in that sense. I think, again, I think that's why it makes it clear, why it made it clear to us that it would make a good single, because it was the outlier from everything we had, and it was a song that we grew to really like, and had pretty personal lyrics to it.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I heard it that it was something special. Just when those first few notes came in and the words began, I knew straight away that you guys had written something pretty good.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say.
See, I do value the things that you do.
I was beginning to believe you didn't, but also,
I do know I agreed to be involved. Let's be honest.
I've got to say as well, because I feel like otherwise we'll get into like a Lennon-McCartney type argument later down the years. But John actually did write this song. I didn't. I wrote the lyrics, but he came up with the tune. I remember very vividly being sat there, kind of. I think I was just kind of scribbling, trying to come up with some lyrics in a book. I didn't even really have a tune in my mind. And then you started playing this tune, and the words that I'd already written down fit with it so perfectly. And I guess that's the real birthplace. That's where it properly begun in that moment. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Right, I'm recording now. Okay, we're live.
Hi, I'm John, and he's Elliot.
What? Now? And
so now you can do it seriously, right?
Hi, I'm Elliot, and he's my really annoying bandmate. Oh, crikey. If it wasn't just
not your mate, not even your mate, just the bandmate.
Just bandmate, not mate.
That's how we refer to each other now. Hi, colleagues.
Hi,
Hi.
That's it.
Hi, I'm John, and these are my acquaintances.
Well, it's funny how
I'm Daisy, and these are 2 guys I've never met before.
Oh, what was I going to say? Well, let's crack on with it then. We want to talk about who has inspired us to write music, who's made us want to start writing music, and then who has particularly inspired the sound on this song.
Right, you guys go.
Someone was going to go. Like,
I thought John was going to go. I'll go if you want.
Okay.
John, go. Someone go.
Okay. For me, I wasn't really inspired to make music first. It was more just learning, I think, because I started taking guitar lessons and drumming and stuff. And then eventually, because I just dabbled in so many different instruments, it made it fairly easy to just start like coming up with stuff and putting different parts together, because I knew a little bit of everything. So like I'd never really gone in with the mindset of, oh yeah, I'm going to write the entire song myself and record it all, because I knew I wasn't good enough at all the instruments to do that. So
that's really interesting, because I think it was almost the complete flip side of that for me. I taught myself piano from scratch, and that is still the only instrument I play really. And I always, the only reason I learned to play an instrument was because I wanted to write my own songs. That was from the get-go. That was what I wanted to do. So I guess that's why we came together and work quite well.
Yeah.
That's why we do, when we get in a room together, we don't generally kind of hit a wall or run out of ideas completely. I think bands like Coldplay definitely inspired sound. I wouldn't say we necessarily mimic the sound or try and make our music sound the same, but I think it's artists like Coldplay. We mentioned McFly, so a lot of those kind of early noughties bands who were almost the last generation of bands that really played all their instruments when we were kids. The kind of songs they wrote, that's the kind of stuff that inspired me to write music, to try and emulate that in some way.
Yeah, Elliot, I remember you introducing me to Keane. Like, I remember coming around to your house, you introduced me to them, and we just spent the whole day listening to their music, going through all of these different bands that were kind of similar. McFly even have a similar sound with some of their music. So I think that's definitely, it's influenced like our general taste. I know that for me, when it comes to writing stuff, you know, I'm quite new to it. I never thought that I knew enough or had the skills to write my own stuff, but I just picked up my guitar that I can play a little bit, and before I knew it, you know, words start coming, chords start coming, and you've got something that's it ends up being kind of an amalgamation of all the sounds that inspire you. So I know that's what it's like for me. You know, starting to write and then approaching your song, it was very much, you know, you can hear the sound of all the bands that have gone before and inspired you guys.
Thanks. That's a pretty cool compliment to hear. It's definitely, it's something very special to write your own music, and I genuinely, I 100% believed, probably a year, maybe 18 months ago, I would 100% believe it if you told me I would never write a song in my life, because it never, at a certain point, it never even occurred to me as a thing that I would be able to do, like physically able to do at all. And I don't know how I originally got into it. I just found I love music. I've always loved listening to music, and yeah, trying to emulate what I enjoy listening to and trying to write my own stuff. It's so much fun. It's the one single kind of thing I enjoy more than anything else, definitely. So yeah.
I think when it comes to worship, I know that I am really inspired by Ren Collective stuff. Ren Collective music gets me out of bed in the morning. I love it. It is the most joyful kind of music. It just makes you want to dance. You can't help it. And Phil Wickham songs, Bethel music, that kind of stuff. Hillsong, I love it.
Yeah, I like all of those artists that you've named, to be honest. Yeah, it's interesting actually that you've brought up Christian music, because obviously that is what we've written. Yeah, that was also why it became so captivating early on, and something that I got so passionate about, was because we were writing these songs about our faith, which is something that we're so passionate about and so invested in everyday life. It just became more than just a hobby, more than just kind of, you know, sit there and kind of strum out a few chords and come up with something. It was kind of I'm doing this for purpose. I'm creating something here.
I think that's why we leaned away from going towards songs that just repeated like one line for a chorus or something like that. We wanted to get across a message rather than just saying this, which, like, I love those songs, like, for reflective and for like sitting in God's presence, but sometimes like the message behind our band was to get like our views across and what we believed through the songs. So you can't really just repeat the same thing over and over.
And I remember that has always been something you've been passionate about before we even wrote a song.
Lazy choruses.
I remember
Lazy
we used to talk about so much how much you disliked the unnecessary repetition, because it's not always unnecessary, but when you don't need it, it can become such a laborious part of a good song. And so we always tried to steer away from that. I
think it was really cool to record and just sing for the first time that song with you guys, because it comes from a place of worship, and that makes it so personally special. But it's something that's universal to people that believe in God, or people who have heard of God, who want to know more, you know, across the world. It's this message that unites us. So whenever you're singing worship, whenever you're praising, it's for God, it's for God's glory. And I can't think of a better reason to sing and to record a song with your mates.
Yeah, I hope that whatever you believe, you can listen to this song and hopefully enjoy it, you know, because the music, the actual tune itself is universal, you know. So should we move on to the next point? Because I'm feeling like we're gonna have to cut this one down. It's been so long. There's some good stuff. Some good. It's good. It'll all sound good in an uncut. The final one is about who has helped us. So we just wanted to mention some of the people that have helped us on this journey, who without these people, this wouldn't have happened. This song would not be coming out. We wouldn't be in a position to call ourselves a band, which still feels a little bit surreal, to be honest. So the first of which, I suppose we should probably mention our featured artist, since she's gesturing at us over the camera as well.
I didn't think you could see me.
I've got you on the big screen. Of course I can see you. So, yeah, of course we've got Daisy Ray on the song. Yeah. She's all right. She's class. She's yeah, it's been great to work on a song. I think with this being our first song, I think it was important to work with somebody that we're so close with and we get on with so well. And so you were the obvious choice. And there were, you know, we know a few people who could have done it, but you were always the obvious choice for us. You were always.
Oh, guys, that's so special to me.
Always the closest friend that we would have asked to do it. There was no doubt for us.
I mean, just thank you from me to you guys so much for including me in this. Like, it was an amazing opportunity, and it was such a whirlwind thing to happen. I literally sat down, heard the song for the first time, sang it with you guys, and later on that day we just got this amazing opportunity to make that something real, something that we could share with people. So I think it was so special for me, for you guys to create that and then ask me to join in. It was so cool.
For sure. Touching on that day that you mentioned though, that brings us on to the next couple of people that we wanted to mention. We got our dearest Portuguese friend Pedro is the worship leader at our church, and when he heard that we were using his church space to write our songs, he was interested to hear what we'd done. And it was on that one day that we had Daisy in with us. He asked us to come up to his office space, which is basically just a music room, isn't it? I can't imagine any actual work gets done. No.
And then there was the miracle in that Dave Hendra from Icon, who was a curate at that time, was so busy, and yet for somehow he had like a spare half an hour just to come.
He managed to walk in as we were playing the song, and it was him who then suggested we should put the song out, and he helped us to do that. He's produced it along with his other Icon bandmate Dave Pilcher, and so without the guys from Icon, the song just wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't be getting released publicly on all these proper platforms, you know.
Wouldn't be that, really.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't really have gone anywhere at all. And then another couple of people to mention are our great friend Wale, who helped us. He's probably not fully aware of the help that he gave us and the support, but he helped us. I mean, he always supported the idea of us writing songs and being a band and celebrating our faith in this way. But he helped us find our band name, because we were struggling and we were trying to find any random combination of words that sounded all right. And he told us to start thinking about it in a different way. He told us to think about what we want, the main message that we wanted to convey to people, and what we really wanted to write about throughout our songs. And we hadn't thought like that, because we hadn't thought about kind of continuing a similar message in all of our music. But it really resonated. It really made sense, and then we came up with the name. And then the other person to mention is John Stanbrook, the Stan Man.
Stan Man himself.
The Stan Man, he's a legend and incredibly humble, as are all of these people, obviously. But he said when I messaged him and asked him, you know, if we could shout him out, he was like, no, don't worry about it. But here you go, John. Yeah, he helped with the artwork, with just getting it all looking absolutely perfect. Just the finishing touch on the artwork, which we're very, very happy with. That was one of the last parts of the project to be completed, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. It went through a lot of changes, really.
Yeah, it did. And Dave Hendra again had a lot of input on that. You did a lot of it yourself, John. And then John the Stan Man Stanbrook came in to help at the last minute as well. So massive thank you and appreciation to him.
Yeah. And
there you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Daisy. Now I feel like I'm signing out at the end of a show. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys. It's been really cool.
It's been a faff trying to sort it all and get all of us online together. But it's run really smoothly, and I think the content we've got is really great. So let's see what we can make of it. And we are now into the final countdown of our new single coming out.
Hey,
this is so exciting. This is so exciting. I can't wait.
We'll be in touch again over the next week on the actual release date. Obviously, we'll have to have a call at some point, even if it's brief.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say right now, Daisy, I haven't turned off my recording.
What are you doing, Daisy? Going crazy. Go and get in your...
I'm just having fun looking at myself.
Right, said the actor.
That's what we do. We just spend all
I
our
can
time
believe
looking
it.
at ourselves. Let me act better.
How do you kick someone out of a group, John?
You kick them.
Oh yeah, I got it. I removed that.